All right, hello and welcome to all of you in person and tuning in online to App State Men's and Women's Basketball Media Day. We're going to kick things off with the men's team, starting with the player availability. So from left to right, I've got CJ Huntley, Jackson Threadgill, and Miles Tate. We'll go ahead and fire away with questions. I just ask that if you do have a question that you raise your hand and state your name and affiliation, and then we'll go ahead and fire away with questions. So whoever wants to go first, we'll go ahead and kick it off.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. First, Miles and CJ, you guys made the decision to come back and in a small minority and so forth. Can you talk about that decision to come back and what it's been like, getting together with a whole new group of guys?
Just this past year, our season last year, just how good we did last year and everything. Just made me want to come back and stuff like that. Just being with those guys, but now with these new group of guys coming in, just trying to bring that camaraderie together and being together, like working as a team together on the practice and off the court as well. Just it's been good so far. So
yeah, I feel like I was already in a good spot here at App State, and I didn't want to ruin that and go have to start over somewhere else. And I feel like Boone is a great place for me to focus on what I got to do. And I love App State as it is already, and I love everybody here. So it was an easy decision for me. And as far as the new guys, like, they coming in and we getting right to it. Like, we already got a bond together. We got chemistry. So it's going to be fun to play with these guys. And I accept the challenge of having a new team and bringing them in to try to keep playing.
Jackson, are you having fun with these guys at and talk about your decision to come here from Charlotte?
Well, your first question, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with these dudes. But just going back to making my decision to come here, I had already built a relationship with Coach Kearns out of high school when he recruited me, and when I decided to embark on a new chapter in my life, I leaned on that relationship with him a lot. And then also with CJ and Miles coming back, obviously me and CJ played in high school together, and I played against Miles in travel ball in high school, so I kind of was familiar with them, and it was something I was intrigued with coming to play with them as well.
Dillner, Appalachian Weekly News, App TV. CJ, just want to talk to you about something that Jackson just talked about, playing with him in the past, knowing him. I've seen you at volleyball games. Yeah. What's your relationship like with Jackson, who's figured to be a big part of this team, and why are you so close together?
Just I would say our relationship through high school and AAU basketball and all that stuff like that. Just it's like one of my best friends, seeing each other every day in high school, practicing in high school, AAU practicing together, just seeing him do his thing at Charlotte, and then did a little bit of recruiting, try to get him to come over here, and it actually worked. So just seeing that happen, everything like that, just been good so far. So
what is he going to bring to this team?
He's going to bring a lot. He's going to bring a veteran mentality to this team. Since we got a bunch of new guys, a bunch of younger guys coming in, just having that veteran role come in and help us. But me and Miles would be good for us. So.
Jackson, for you, a couple different things. Number one, just a little bit more about why App State, first of all.
Well, first of all, when I decided I wanted to leave Charlotte, I wanted to get to experience something new. Obviously, growing up around there, being in the city, I wanted to challenge myself, get outside my comfort zone a little bit. So I decided this would be a good spot. Obviously, away from the city, kind of secluded, college town atmosphere is something I'm not used to, but I'm enjoying it here so far. And obviously, the success they've had in the past had a lot to do with it. Like I said, CJ and Miles coming back was very intriguing to me, and then the relationship I already had with Coach Kearns as well. I thought it would be a good place for me to come to.
What was that relationship like with Coach Kearns, and did he recruit you more, or did CJ recruit you more to come up the mountain?
So I would say I think it started with Coach Kearns just calling me, and obviously after that I called CJ. I know he was testing waters, obviously with NBA draft and things like that. So when I figured out he was going to stay, it was kind of a little bit easier to make that decision. But I would also say just the relationship question that you asked, he kept it real with me in high school, and I don't think it really changed either through this process as well. So like just leaning back on that relationship was very important to me.
And Miles, last for me, just what's your relationship like with Jackson, and what have you thought about what you've seen out of him so far?
My relationship with Jackson is grown like crazy because we live together already, so that's played a big part in our relationship. And I just love his mentality that he brings every day. And he's an everyday guy. Like, you're not gonna get one good day and then a bad day, then a bad day. He's always even keel. He's consistent, and I feel like he knows what it takes to win, and that's what we need on this team, like veteran presence to be an example for the younger guys and the new guys. And Jackson, the perfect example of a winning player who knows what it takes. So he been great for us, and especially for me because I've been watching what he do and adding that to my mentality, adding stuff that he does in my game. So he been great for us.
Bobby Phillips, Appalachian Weekly News and 90.5 WASU. And this question's for all three of y'all. Y'all just talked about the relationship y'all have with each other. Where are maybe some other relationships that you find building on the team right now?
I would say for me, just coming back, the big room, Luke, Jaleel, Mike, Ben, just us working together, working out together every day through practices, competing against each other. It's just been great for all of us, especially off the court. We all hang out together as a team as well. So just that big room, our big room, I feel like it'll be really good this year. So,
kind of the opposite of him, I would say with the guards, building a relationship with a lot of the young guys. Obviously, they kind of hit on it. I try to bring a lot of experience and like a veteran leadership type of deal. So just talking to like the young guys like Jason, Anthony, I see a lot of potential in their future here at Appalachian State, and I just try to do the most that I can to help them out. And I feel like they've grown as players since we first started in the summer.
Yeah, just like they all said, we all getting to know each other a little better, and that relationship has grown since the summer, since I first met these guys. And it's crazy because I hang with the younger guys like the same way I hang with them. So I feel like that's an important thing, to hang off the court so that relationship on the court can be easier. So we all connected.
Dylan Shepard with the Appalachian. Question for CJ and Miles. You two have been the only two to return from last season's team. Just talk to me about how the team chemistry has changed in that process of rebuilding the bonds with all these new players that have arrived.
Like every team is gonna be different, obviously, but that's a good thing for us because we got a lot of personalities on this team, and we're trying to make it all mesh. And we've been doing a good job of building that chemistry every day, getting in the gym, hanging off the court, going out to eat, just having conversations with them. And I feel like the more you get to learn your brother, the more you're gonna care about him. And that's what we've been trying to do this whole off season. So when we get on the court, we can play for our brother. So that's what we've been building.
Yeah, just pick back off what he just said. Yeah, team chemistry's been really good so far, on the court and off the court. Like he said, hanging out with each other, going out to eat with each other, also practicing with each other and working out. So just being around those guys and just getting to know them a little bit more outside of basketball has been great so far. So.
Hi, Parker Eglund with the Appalachian. CJ, this is your 5th year at App State now. Mm-hmm. So how does that help you with the knowing that you're very familiar with the program?
I feel like it helps me a lot just because I've been around Coach Kearns and that staff for my 5th year now, like you said. Just trying to teach some younger guys and the new guys what goes around here, what our culture is here. So just trying to bring that back up, keep it upheld and stuff like that. So.
All right, Miles, what is it like preparing for the season as one of the only App State veterans with you and CJ?
It's been great. Taking on the leadership role is something I've always wanted, and I feel like it's something that my team trusts me to do. So with them having my back, I got their back. We just gonna go.
And Jackson, what is it like having a familiarity with people here you went to high school with CJ and with fellow transfer Will Coble, and did that impact your decision to come here?
Well, Will committed after me, so CJ being here definitely impacted my decision. And I think me coming and CJ already being here impacted Will coming here. But the familiarity piece was very important for me, just because, this is my 5th year and it's only going to be 1 year here. So I think just having those people around just made the transition easier for me.
Matt President, Appalachian Sports Network. CJ, I'll start with you. I think we've, in this room, detailed a lot about what's changed over the course of your 5 years. What is something that's been a constant that you have familiarity with across your time here that kind of, keeps you grounded, and with all the change, you kind of go back to that thing?
I would just say it's a great question. Let me think about it for a little bit. Hold on. I would just say just like staying as being myself, being that same player I am like every year. Just when I come in my freshman year, like listen to the other older guys like Justin Forrest and all them, and then going and watching them compete at a high level, and that's winning that Sun Belt Conference championship my first year. I would say just being myself. They always told me to be myself, have confidence in myself. So just piggybacking off that, just staying confidence in myself to just go out there and be the best player I can be. So.
Jackson kind of alluded to it that you tested the waters in terms of trying to turn pro and ultimately decided to come back. What was the feedback that you got through that process and where you're looking to continue to grow your game this upcoming season?
Yes, you, bro.
He's talking to you, fam.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
My fault, bro. My fault.
Throughout the process of testing the waters of potentially turning pro, what was the feedback that you got from that process that you're looking to incorporate into your game this year?
I would say just kind of the rebounding aspect, and then also like the defending the rim aspect as well. Just trying to keep those two key things into my game this year, and then also just now that I'm a veteran guy, just holding my younger guys accountable and my teammates accountable, just to keep it at a high standard as we are right now. So just doing those things will help me as well.
Jackson, with Charlotte, you played in this building a few years ago. I think App State fans traveled pretty well down to Charlotte, subsequently. What do you take away from the atmosphere at the home center and the App State fan base as you made the transition to Boone?
Well, I remember playing here, and the atmosphere was great. The energy in the building was great. And I also, CJ left me tickets to the NIT game at Wake. And in my opinion, I think there was more App fans there than there were Wake Forest fans, honestly. So just the way the fans support their athletics here and they travel, I think it's great. And I think it shouldn't be undermined on how much that can impact the team's success.
For you individually, with this being your final season, what is it that you hope to accomplish on a personal level?
Individually, I would say just I think having impact on the younger guys is more important than anything to me, because the people that come after you, like, that's where your legacy is. It's not really in stats or how you performed individually. It's more so of how your peers, your teammates, and your coaches looked at you. So if I can have an impact where I left this place better than what I found it, I'll be satisfied.
Miles, you talked about becoming a leader and stepping into that role. Last year, you were the newcomer. This year, there are a lot of other newcomers. How does that experience inform how you lead this year?
Yeah, that experience, that was great for me to get that year under my belt, to see how everything goes here at App, and it's everything that I expected, everything that I wanted. But this year, it's going to be even more responsibility on my shoulders. But at the end of the day, me and my teammates just want to win. And we just want to do anything possible, anything we can, just get wins and play hard as we can. And with me being a leader, it's going to be easy because I got a bunch of good guys behind me pushing me, and I'm pushing them. So we're just trying to win games.
Any other questions for these three? All right, thank you, guys. We'll be back in short with
Thank
Coach
you.
Kearns.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, up next we have head coach Dustin Kearns. We'll let him start with an opening statement, and then we'll go ahead and move into questions.
Yeah, first and foremost, it's great to see everybody. I think this is our biggest crowd here, which is awesome. It's in my this has been my 6th season. I also want to acknowledge and recognize our community with everything going on with Hurricane Helene. I want to commend our first responders, all the people that have rallied in our community, and so I know our community's got a long road ahead, but certainly. So great to see so many people across the state, nation, help out so many people in need. As far as our team, excited about this group, and certainly taking it a day-by-day approach. But we're less than 2 weeks away, and so we're excited to continue to get going with this group and this team, and excited to get back in the home center in front of our great fans and students.
All right, now we'll move into questions. Just ask that you state your name and affiliation, and we'll go ahead and fire away.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. Coach, the transfer portal has become a fact of life, and obviously you had a lot of changes this year, and turnover and roster makeup. Talk about the process of how you adapt to that turnover process, and how it impacts what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that we adapt the way everybody else in college athletics is adapting. I think the Sun Belt had 83 players transfer, so that's about 6 per team. And so, I feel like that that's college athletics now. We're going to embrace the people that are here, that want to be here. We're also going to wish the people that, we're looking for something different or a change the best. And we're still going to stay true to our values of things that, fit the program and the culture that's been established here, and people that align with that. And so it's the way it goes.
Looking at the composition of your roster, 6 freshmen, 2 sophomores, a fairly young roster. I think only three graduate students maybe, and a couple seniors. How has that balance that you've been able to accomplish fit kind of what the model was that you had your objectives going into the season? Yeah,
well, we had 6 new players last year. Right, and so even though we returned a lot the previous year, we still did add 6 new people. We still added some experience. All 3 Division I transfers we had all started for their programs. We added a couple junior college kids, but we still value and development, and we're still going to recruit freshmen and have that balance. And so certainly in roster construction, they can't be 9 transfers or 9 freshmen, and so there's still, Luke Wilson redshirted last year, and certainly we pride ourselves on development, and so we're going to continue to do some things like that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bobby Phillips, App Weekly News and 90.5 WASU. And Coach, there's a lot of emphasis on focusing with the veteran players like Miles Tate and CJ Huntley, but you also have Ledford and Wilson coming back this year. Even though they didn't see much playing time last year, how have they developed compared to maybe last season going into this year?
Yeah, Luke Wilson is a guy that, we signed 6'9". He came here at 290 pounds. He's down to 255. And so, certainly we have great confidence in our player development and things, and so he's really, had a great off season and season last year. Ledford's a, preferred walk-on, and so his role will, continue to be that way. But certainly Luke Wilson's a guy that, is someone we're counting on.
Coach Eggman Chambers, WKBC Radio. I wanted to ask you, was so much new around the program this year, how important was it for you and your staff to get a guy like CJ Huntley back for his 5th season of eligibility?
Yeah, it's great. And so CJ, I think, is our, if you go back to Donovan Gregory, you go back to Justin Forrest, Michael Amon, we've had several guys that have came back and used their extra year of eligibility, James Lewis. So we've had and I'm probably, unfortunately, leaving someone out. Like, we've had a lot of people that's come back, and so I think CJ has saw the success of the guys before him. And so certainly, when you have people like CJ Huntley, continue to be in your program, a guy that started a lot of games here, a guy that's been part of a lot of winning, that's a big deal for us. And obviously he's very talented, a very good player too, preseason all-conference. And so, certainly we're expecting big things from CJ this year. And I think he's had a tremendous offseason. And, I think that, certainly having preseason all Sun Belt recognition he's got respect from his peers as well. So having a guy like him is very critical. And like I said, but fortunately we've been able to have some guys like that before him do it.
And last year's team, very good defensively at protecting the rim, shot blocking ability. Do you see that as a possible strength this year? Do you see that maybe an adjustment defensively at where you're going to hang your hat on that side this year?
Yeah, I think that we're going to. This team's different, right? It's a different team. This is our 6th year, so this is our 6th different roster, and this team's different. So I think we're going to have to do it a little bit of a different way. And that's part of our job as coaches, to adjust, adapt to our personnel, be married to our players more than our system. And so that's one thing we're consistent with. We're going to adapt to our personnel. And so I think that as much as, we strive on and have an identity on the defensive end of the floor, it's just probably going to look a little bit different. Our goal is still the same, but I do think it'll be a little bit different.
Bob Dillner, Appalachian Weekly News, App TV. Coach, just want to expand upon Luke Wilson a little bit more. What type of player is he going to be this year? What have you seen from him last year into the workouts this year?
Yeah, Bob, I think that, Luke he's got really big size. I mean, he's a guy that can move people. He's got great athleticism. He's got really good shot blocking ability. And I think that, with red shirting and things like that, I commend him for his passion to develop and bought in for the long term, and Coach Agnew, our strength coach, for the work that they both put in, and our nutritionist Tess McCain, because she's helped him with his diet and things like that. But you can now see it, right? And he's had some really good days. He's a guy that we really will expect to be in the rotation, and once again, he's got great size, shot block ability, but he's also got some really good athleticism. And so he just needs some reps. He just needs some game reps. Like with lights on and people in the stands, it's been now a long time before he's played in a game with people in the stands and lights on. And so he just needs some of those game reps.
We just had Jackson in here with Miles and CJ as well, and we talked a little bit about some of the relationship between CJ and Jackson. But he said even before CJ, went after him to come to App State, he said, you were a call. Why did you go after Jackson Threadgill, and what did you see in him?
Yeah, well, I just think, Jackson's he's got great intangibles. He's somebody that we identified in high school and offered a scholarship to, and then we competed against. And we had great respect for him as a competitor, and certainly with him and CJ having a long history, on and off the court, I think that's been really good for CJ. And I think they've got some natural chemistry. You can see on the court just some chemistry that goes back to years, before, but certainly, Jackson is someone that we felt like would be a great addition to our program, and he has been. And we're excited about his year as well.
And lastly, through workouts and so forth, especially with some of the newcomers that we're all anxious to see, who has shined, in your opinion, and what have you seen out of some of those players? Yeah,
I think the good thing is it's been different guys. I think certainly Jalil, our transfer from Stephen F. Austin, has really, shown some experience and the ability to score on the low block. He's also got just natural size. I think that you've had some other guys, I really think everybody from then on has had their moments and days and shown some ability to, to step up and contribute this season. So that's exciting. Obviously, as a coach, you want competition, and certainly we've definitely had that. So I'll kind of group them all together in the sense that everybody's had some really good moments.
Hi, Parker Eglund with the Appalachian. Coach, how do you manage what is almost a complete roster turnover from what was a Sun Belt champion last year?
Yeah, I think that, certainly our we're going to rely on our championship culture that we built. In 5 years here, we've won 2 championships. And so, I think that today rosters come and go. That's just the way things go. You can look at Alabama and a Final Four team last year. They've got 8 new players themselves. So it's like, I just think as coaches, we rely on our culture. We rely on the things that we've established. And I think you attract that. Obviously when you've got openings on your roster, like the year before with adding a Miles Tate and some of those guys, it's not the first time we've won. So like you attract, some of those guys.
So what goes into the process of finding these guys from all different levels, your Division I transfers, JUCO, high school, and talk about some of that?
Yeah, it's it's a lot of hours in this room here, but it's a lot of visits, it's a lot of time. But I just think as a staff, you've got to know what works here. You've got to know our values, our core values from a character standpoint. And then obviously from a basketball standpoint, whether it's shooting, whether it's ball handling, and certainly today in college athletics, there's a lot of factors that go in. But once again, I think it's got to be a little mix and match of everything. It just can't be all transfers for us. It can't be all high school kids for us. But it needs to be a mix and match of everything, which is something that was strategic.
Dylan Shepard with the Appalachian. Coach, we've talked a lot about the new additions to the roster. From your perspective as the head coach, how have these people out of the transfer portal, how have your new freshmen gelled with the team and build that team chemistry? What have you seen?
That's been very pleasant surprise, right? When you're putting, even last year with 6 new guys, right? That's still a lot of new people in the program. And so there's been our camaraderie, our chemistry has been very good on and off the court, and so that's been really exciting to watch, because sometimes I think you're concerned that that's going to take a lot of time, and so I really, and I think that's probably just the way it goes now. Like you can go back. These kids, unfortunately or fortunately, they transfer high schools now. They go on different AU teams, so they adjust to new rosters pretty well now. I don't think it's new for them either. Right, and so I think that's probably eased some of the process. But I think we've got really good kids, we've got good character people, and so I think that also makes that adjustment easier.
And you also mentioned building a championship culture, setting high expectations. Based on all the roster turnover we've talked about throughout this afternoon, how confident do you feel in this team's ability to make another run at a Sun Belt title?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I think that. You've got. I think that obviously in the Sun Belt, you've got 14 dogs fighting for one bone, and so you've got some programs that have a lot of turnover as well. You've got some programs that have some guys back, but I think we're all, waiting to see, until we get going. But I'm very confident in this team, and I'm very confident in what we do.
Matt President, Appalachian Sports Network. Coach, talk a little bit about the schedule for the season and how the roster may or may not have dictated how you went about scheduling for the year.
Yeah, I think with our program, I don't know the exact stat, but this is more likely one of the most successful 5-year runs in our program, right? And so with that becomes you're swimming in a new pool scheduling-wise. And so, you almost become a victim of your own success, right? And so, I know we've got 6 games away from the home center that are all, teams that won 20 or more games last year. So now we're playing really good programs like ourselves. We're doing another game in Greensboro, which they'll return to Hickory. We're trying to do the Hickory game every other year. Certainly going 15-0 at home and having the 10th longest home winning streak in the country has presented some problems with getting people to come to App State. And so we've got a few teams coming. Obviously, you got the MAC Challenge home and away. We've got a Wisconsin game, but we've got some in-state teams. We played at Queens last year. They're coming here. They've had a really good program. We've got a good William and Mary team coming here. And then, playing on the road, UNC Wilmington has got a really good program. We're playing in their tournament with preseason favorite Colgate and Sam Houston State. So, we've got another really challenging schedule. We just added a game with North Texas, which they'll return to Boone. So, once again, 6 programs with over 20 wins, but also trying to play around the state, right? Play here at home, but play in Greensboro again. Play in the state at Wilmington. We've tried to really play across the state as much as possible. But certainly it's another challenging schedule.
How much is seeing the way that App State fans traveled last year to Charlotte, to Hickory, to various locations kind of in this region reinforce that desire to play locally in the non-conference?
Absolutely. It's very strategic because obviously this is an area we want to recruit. We want to recruit in-state kids and obviously recruit where our play games where our players' parents can come see them play. And so seeing last year playing around the state and seeing how passionate our fan base is and seeing them show up is definitely reassurance that we could let's go keep playing around the state. Absolutely.
I'm sure to some degree as you recruit and as you turn over the roster, there's a vision for how different newcomers fit into the puzzle. How much of that has come true, if you will, and how much has what you may have envisioned initially when you first contacted guys actually changed now that you're seeing them leading up to the season in practice with one another every day? Yeah,
I think certainly it's a process. Certainly it's there's good days. There's days where still trying to figure it out a little bit, right? And I think that's the fun of it. Once again, I think that obviously we're trying to have the result be the same, but the process of going about it may be a little different, and that's part of our job as coaches to adjust of what's best for this team. And there's some fun in that. There's some exciting in that. And this team's different from some other teams, but it's exciting to see what this team can do.
Coach Zach Smith, High Country Sports. You talked a little bit about you have the 10th longest home winning streak in the country. A lot of that had to do with the record-setting attendance last year. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing to get those students back here again this coming season?
Yeah, and I will commend our students and our community for that attendance record. And the exciting part is we can break it again, right? But I completely agree. Us having a 15-game home winning streak had a lot to do with our attendance and crowd. It rose the level of our players and it hurt our opponents. And so excited to hopefully keep that going. Certainly the last couple of weeks on campus has been challenge for a lot of people, but I know we're very engaging with our students and faculty and community to get everybody back in the home center. Obviously, we just had our first game here with volleyball last week, and so we're still trying to certainly figure some of that stuff out. But I think that's exciting, and I think that it's exciting to really keep that going. It's going to get harder and harder, right? Because now more and more people are going to know about, hey, this team's top 10 in the country in home winning streak. But I think if we continue to have an home court atmosphere with our students and community and continue to break attendance records, that we can keep that going.
CJ Huntley last year showed a lot of development defensively. How much are you planning on relying him sort of in the paint?
Yeah, I certainly think him being a rim protector is a strength of his, and this being an elite rebounder. I think part of defense is being able to secure and rebound the ball, and I think that I really think C.J. Huntley could be a guy that averages a double-double this year and can rebound at a high level. And certainly being another rim protector for him.
What's your favorite Michael Jordan moment?
Well, what's your name and what are you? Who are you with? Good to see my son Riggs in here. Ask me your question again.
What's your favorite Michael Jordan moment?
Favorite Michael Jordan moment? That's a lot of them. I will say a couple come to mind. Okay, one, I got to work his flight school as a young 20-year-old guy getting into coaching out in California, and so that was fun to interact with him some. But I remember being at my grandparents' house and watching NBC when he came back. So after he retired and played baseball for a little bit, he came back. It was a Sunday. It was at Madison Square Garden. He came out wearing number 45, and I just remember our entire family at my grandparents' house were glued to the television watching, Michael Jordan play basketball again. Any more questions? All right.
Since we're on this theme, what is being the father of a star middle school volleyball player? How does that impact your coaching ability for a men's basketball team?
Yeah, I'm certainly proud of Emery, my daughter. She's done great in volleyball, and I think that one thing that's been, fun for me as a dad watching her play volleyball and in travel or at her middle school team is just seeing her. Not only she's a good player, but she's a great teammate, and she's a great leader. And seeing her teammates, really enjoy, playing with her and her lifting up her teammates. That's really been fun, as a dad to sit there and watch. Emery do those things.
Any other questions for Coach Kearns? All right, we'd like to thank everybody for showing up today.
Thanks for everybody coming. Go Mountaineers, take the stairs. Appreciate it.
Take care.